My name is Michi Held. Welcome to Daily Drum Lesson. Today is the day, the most important drum lesson I've ever recorded and probably ever will record. I know this sounds like clickbait, but just hear me out for a minute before you click away. This video is not about a particular practice routine. It is about a certain practicing style I've talked a lot about in my other videos, but I never really explained in detail. And today I want to change that. It is about a mindset and about leaving your ego out of practicing. But let's start with me. Why do I sit here and think I can tell you something about practicing? Well, I'm 37 years old. I have been playing the drums since I was 10, and I've been teaching for close to 20 years. I have uploaded around 300 drum lessons with around 7 million views just on YouTube alone. And I am also the guy who just said, leaving your ego out of practicing. And then listed all his achievements, which is pretty ironic. But all I want to say is I know quite a bit about practicing. But besides all that, I don't consider myself to be a top-tier drummer. I'm just not, and that's okay. When I scroll through my Instagram feed, and it's probably the same for you, I see all these crazy drummers playing the most insane licks. And the way the algorithm works is they show you the videos with the highest engagement, which are usually the top-tier drummers, the 1 percentile. And they only upload the stuff of them performing at their highest level. So what you see on Instagram couldn't be further from the reality of everyday drummers. And all this leads to this habit of practicing chops and licks and wasting valuable practice time. And I am guilty of that myself, on both sides. I have wasted countless hours by practicing stuff which just leads nowhere. And I've also uploaded videos of me explaining stuff which just leads nowhere. It just performs well, it generates a lot of clicks. For example, a lick like this. For this to make it even worth your practice time, you already need very solid double strokes with your hands and your feet. You need great dynamics to make it sound good. And you also need a very good understanding of time to handle all these different groups of 3s and 4s. And you cannot even make the argument that you practice all these things while working on the lick. That's like saying you practice riding the bicycle by riding a motorcycle while juggling. It doesn't make any sense. And it's the same with practice routines. In one of my videos, for example, I showed you this Herta practice routine. A Herta is just this rhythm right here. You play it 4 times, and after that you play right, left, right, right to change the sticking, and then you play the same thing again, leading with your left hand. But here's the problem with that. Let me play something for you. If you cannot play something like this, which were just right-handed Hertas around the kit, moving in and out of grooves, don't even bother practicing them left-handed. Practice them right-handed until they become useful, and then turn them around. Walk before you run. So the exercise I showed you is still a fantastic exercise if you want to learn left-handed Hertas. But if you just want to learn how to play what I just played, just sit down and practice Hertas. Nothing more. So far I told you what not to practice. But let's have a look at what you should be practicing. And this is the time to leave your ego behind. Listen to your playing, analyze your playing, and be honest with yourself. I bet that 99% of you look at this groove and say, yeah, I can play that. But can you really? Pause the video right now, go to your drum set a metronome to 100 BPM and play this groove for 3 minutes straight and listen for the following things. Is your timing consistent? Are you really locking in with the click, or are you pushing or dragging? Do you play consistent rim shots on the snare? Is your bass drum really lining up with your snare? All these things. In other words, are you playing it perfectly? Do it now, then come back and let us all know in the comments how it went. Give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. I would rate myself an 8. I know I still have to work on my tightness and my rim shots aren't really perfectly consistent. So after 25 years of playing the drums, I still have to work on that. Let's look at another groove. We just moved the bass drum by 1/16th note. And I bet probably still 80% of you say, yeah, I can play that. But again, can you really play that? Can you sit down behind a drum set and make this groove feel good and sound good? I know I cannot. Stuff like that always feels awkward to me. The bass drum is just in such an odd position. It doesn't feel good. I would rate myself a 6 out of 10. I really need to work on that after more than 25 years. So the way I like to work on these flaws is to play around with them. I don't sit down and play this groove for hours on end. It doesn't make any sense. It leads nowhere when I can play it for 3 minutes straight. I need to be able to move in and out, to combine it with different grooves and different fills and just make music with it. So let's do that. Okay, I stopped here real quick. Normally I would continue playing, but I just wanted to share my thought process here. I started playing 16th notes on the hi-hat, and I realized this feels even more horrible than 8th notes. So I would just continue to throw that in and play both 16th notes, 8th notes, and just mix it all together. And this is not something you do once and then you are done with it. Come back to it and work on it constantly. And that's why I always write stuff like this down. I write down the date, for how long I played it, the tempo, and then of course what I played, and maybe some comments. So the next time I get to it, I will know exactly where I'm standing. I maybe push the tempo or even go slower or combine it with different ideas and just continue to work from there. Let's have a look how one of these practice sessions might look for a beginner. Let's say you've been playing some basic eighth note grooves, some standard fills, basically everything I teach in this video. And now you want to incorporate a paradiddle. Let's say we have done that for 10 or 15 minutes and it starts to feel kind of good. But now I realize it feels weird whenever I move my left hand to the tom when I play the paradiddle. I will just start to incorporate that more and work on that. And after the session, you write everything down so you can track what you've been doing, know what you want to work on next time, and you can also track your progress. So what I want you to take from this video is find the flaws in your fundamentals, in the very basics of drumming. And with flaws, I mean everything that doesn't feel great when you play it. And then start to make music with it. Mix it with other ideas and see what you can make with it. You cannot play a pattern if you can play it for 3 minutes in a loop. You can play a pattern when you can orchestrate it, when you can move in and out of a groove, when you can combine it with different stuff, when you can create something with it, when you can make music with it. Alright, 2024 is nearly over and I have big plans for 2025. I want to make Daily Drum Lesson more about you. I'm going to restructure my Patreon so we can get in touch there, so I can help you finding all these flaws in your playing and really help you to find good practice routines, build good practicing habits and elevate your playing. I also want to show you some of my practice sessions there. No Instagram glory, just the ugly truth and my thought process with it. So stay tuned for that. Happy holidays and I'll see you soon.